Do you have trouble naming variables, functions, or classes? If the answer is yes, then this video is right for you. You will master naming after this Python tutorial. Hello coders, welcome to my channel. I am David, your guide to mastering programming. If you want to create a name, you can use letters, lowercase letters from A to Z and capital letters from A to Z. Also, you can use digits from 0 to 9 and underscore. All other characters are excluded. You can't use them. For example, you can't use dot, comma, at the rate sign, etc. Also, names can start with numbers, but can start with underscore. I will show you that. If I write, for example, I want my variable name to be 1a and to have 1. As you can see, Python outlines this and wants to tell me that there is some error. But I can replace this one with underscore and everything will work perfectly. If I want to use numbers, they have to come after after these characters. For example, underscore A1. This is a valid name as well. It's not very logical, but it's valid. Also, you can use single letters as names, but O, L, and capital I is my recommendation to avoid them because O resembles 0. As you can see, they're very similar, especially uppercase O, and I and L, capital I and L, resemble 1 very much. So you should avoid them as well. You can use Unicode symbols, but it's recommended that you avoid them. Also, some editors may support emojis as names, but most of them don't, and I have never seen a programmer that uses emoji as a name. Every programming language has some reserved words and built-in functions. For example, for is a very common reserved word, and you can't use for as a variable name or function name or whatever. Also, another example is, for example, range. Range is also a reserved word, more precisely a built-in function, so you should avoid the range as a name as well. When I build Python apps for clients, I follow these naming practices. It's a key for maintainability. If you need some help with assignments or you want some one-on-one coaching on data structures and algorithms, check the link in the description below. Now, I will mention 5 important rules when naming variables, functions, classes, modules and packages, and constants. For example, when naming variables, you should always use lowercase letters, and they should be descriptive, in combination with snake case. What is a snake case? Snake case is, for example, this A and then snake case B. Why snake? Because it can be very long. You can add as many of these as you can, and as you can see, this resembles a snake because it's long. For a special data type like Boolean, I recommend to use these 4 prefixes: is, should, can, and has. For example, is red to check if something is red, or has, I don't know, hat, or can swim, for example. When you name functions, you should also use just lowercase letters and use snake case. But you should try to use verbs and verb phrases. For example, check winner. This is a good name for a function because it's very clear and it uses verb. You should check who is the winner. When naming classes, you should use camel case. Camel case means that if you want a new word, it should start with a capital letter. When you create class, for example, floating number. As you can see, this resembles a camel. So, classes should have camel case. And also, the class names should be nouns or noun phrases, like in this case, floating number. When naming modules and packages, the names should be short and lowercase, combined with snake case. Module is a simple Python code, Python script, like this here, lesson 38, naming. A package is a folder of modules. I know this is not the right way to name the module, but this is a clear name for you to know which lesson you're watching now. When you name constants, you should use all caps snake case, and all the constants should be at the top of your code. If you, for example, have pi, you should name it like this. Pi, it should be equal to 3.14. And this should be at the top of your code. You shouldn't have some function like def run here, and here the constant is at the fourth line. No, this constant should be at the first line here. And by snake case, I mean you should use the underscore, not the camel case. Of course, you can't even use the camel case here because then everything will be merged. So, for example, pi2. This is the way how you should name your constant. I hope you found this video helpful. Like and subscribe for more coding content. See you in my next video. Until then, keep coding.